Honorable Chagulanyi do this? Does he not know what Obote did to, Kabaka Mutesa and so on? And he said, okay, so how do we heal? How do we get to move on as a country? That's not to sweep under the carpet anything that happened, because like we're saying, and I saw Honorable Jimmy Akena saying, guys, the current crop of people in the north, they were not party to that. The current crop of people in central, it's a new breed altogether. And so anyway, it's been important for us to keep emphasizing unity. Let's heal past wounds, because that's the only way you get to move forward as a country. So yeah, I was just saying that because Madam Grace commented on it as I had Dr. Kama read it. Marvin's question about the biometric voter verification kits. We have had an interesting debate over the years regarding this. So in the last election, actually there were some machines, but majority of them failed to work for the obvious reasons. Normally when they procure substandard things, equipment, and so they cannot function, and they give them to these polling officials who have not learned the ropes and they are fumbling with them. It was the same experience with the census, where people would, sense an enumerator. Instead of spending a few minutes per house, they spend a lot of time because they were fumbling with the machines. They just did not know what to do. The network was problematic, and so it's still the concern. You see, in a functional Uganda, the technology is the way to go, because it's one way of weeding out any kind of malpractice. To make sure that whoever gets to vote is in the register. One of the ways they do rig is multiple voting. That happens a lot of times. Of course, the ballot stuffing and so on and so forth. But now, if you can ascertain that this person is a registered voter, they go and vote once and they cannot vote again because the system has checked them. It is the ideal. But we know our situation, and so we have been asking the Electoral Commission, give us guarantees that, number one, all these machines are properly functional. The people who are going to use them, the polling officials, they know how to use them. Number three, our network challenges across the country, that even in the city center, Kampala, there will be issues with network. That's now the city center. How about in Wupa-Adengo? How about in Agago, as Marvin did give us an example? How about if you go to deep rural Rwampara? And so on and so forth. Anyway, even deep rural Buganda areas, network connectivity issues. They're saying all will be well. The biggest issue we are challenging, because Mr. Museveni said that where the machine does not work, then voting should not happen. He made a statement to that effect. Then that means, you pause it. Or where people in the register cannot be identified in the kit, should not vote. That's something that we are challenging. We are saying, how about now, if they choose that the machines won't work in Buganda, for example, or in many of the places where they know here, NUP and the opposition has got overwhelming support. So let's frustrate the machines. And so now that the machine has not worked, voting will not happen here. So that's something that we are challenging, because it is not acceptable. The machine would be a good one, a good, modus operandi, but we know that there are challenges. Even when they will be well-meaning, network will not function in many of these places, and the polling officials will fumble with the machines and so on and so forth. And so ultimately, we have got to get back to the register. It's the rudimentary way to operate, but it's something that we are challenging, and we certainly shall, because people coming to vote, you cannot say, okay, now the machine has not worked, so you cannot vote because the machine is not working. That will not happen. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Lop. And I know many of you comrades have more questions, but I'm going to request that we proceed to what brought us here. Madame Patricia, she told me she was in the middle of traffic, and so I don't know if she's here yet. Our council leader for the Gulf. Madame Patricia, if you're on here, please notify me so that I give you a chance to speak. Other than that, I'm going to now open up for the Gulf leadership in their respective regions to come and say a word or two. Banange, aba Gulf, enyo yeno yesawa. Patricia Mugisha Munonya angambye abadde alina waali so ayinza obutajja saawa eno naye bw'anajja tujja kusobola omuwuliza. Tugenda kufuba okutabika ennimi bannange. Nti laba bangi bagamba oluzungu lungi naye munnaye mulina okitegeera waliwo n'abatali bannayuganda abali ku platform eno, so tugezaako okulaba nti tutabikatabikamu baleme kubeera ngabo nga tebalina kye bategeera ku bye twogera. So we're going to do our best okumixinga ennimi tulabe nti buli omu. It's difficult to cater for everyone 100%, naye tugenda kufuba, so temweraliikirira. We're going to do our best okulaba nti tutabika. So tulabe nga tetulina gwe tuleseeyo. So abakulembeze ba Gulf, ngenda nga Madame Patricia bw'ataliiwo, ngenda kusaba tutandike na UAE. Agenda okukiikira UAE nga oba abalala oba entegeka yonna gye mwabadde nayo musobola okuwanmutinga then ne mutandika okukunga nga n'abalala bakunga. Chapter ez'enjawulo bannaye tubasabye muteeke collection points mu chat. Eno yessaawa eno bw'oba olina contribution gy'okola, just type in the chat nti nze ndeese $5 oba dirhamu oba 10,000 shillings, whatever you can, muzityping mu chat. Fenna tusobola kufuna muzindaalo, so tuli abantu nga 10 ku meeting eno. Bwe tuvaayo nga buli omu alina ettaffaali ly'ataddeyo, tujja kuvaawo nga campaign esobola okutambula zino wiiki ebbiri eziddako. So mbasaba mwenna bannaaye, bwe watofunye muzindaalo kozesa chat ogambye nze ntaddeyo $10 zange 10, $20, euro zange, pound, kyonna any currency, then tulabe nti we leave this meeting on a strong point. So aba Gulf, omuzindaalo gwammwe abakulembeze, simanya ani agala okutandika. Abakulembeze, feel free to unmute from the Gulf.
Thank you, Mr. Kauma, and the entire leadership, Diaspora Council, UK chapter, American chapter,
Mukulu Arnold, network yosebe eganye.
Nah.
Mukulu Arnold, network eganye. Waliwo omukulembeze omulala aba Saudi Qatar. Mwami Arnold, can you hear me? Your network is ebadde kutuse.
Uncle, I can hear you, sir. I can hear you. I can hear you. Okay, thank you. Just in case I'm offline, it's understandable because I'm moving. But anyway, for the cry of our people we are representing, they suggested that if possible, we communicate in the language they understand better. And allow me, those who doesn't understand Uganda, will try to mix up some Uganda and English. Bannakyukakyuka mwenna okwetoloola ensi yonna mbaaniriza. Mukama waffe Joel Ssenyonyi n'abakulembeze abalweda abatugasseeko n'abo abanaatwegattako edda okuva e Kampala okubaniriza meeting ya leero. Bakama baffe Diaspora leadership ekulembera Mr. Kauma and the entire leadership as the Diaspora Council mbaaniriza era mbalamusizza. Nga Gulf, we are honored to host this campaign tonight, and we have been doing this actually mobilizing our people nga tugamba abantu okumakinga sure nti tukola ki tumobilizinga tukola ekisoboka kyonna kyonna okwimira ne baganda baffe bali ku ground nga bwe nabagambye awo Kalule Anotisuubige emanya UAE coordinator. Ekituleese wano olwaleero tewali nsonga ndala nsonga ya kuyimirira amagulu gaffe as our comrades mu Uganda balina bye bayitamu ebingi ffe bye tutasobola koza at least wichua nti tetugenda kuwambibwa drone tetugenda kulya nfuufu gye bali mu kulya baganda baffe but we can do something. So tonight nsaba buli muntu nga bwe twayogedde ne bakomrades ab'enjawulo mu Gulf countries mu UAE naddala gye nkulembera nti today let's do whatever we can to speak. Let's send a statement. Let's make the statement very, very clear. We are standing together. Yes, we have been standing always, but this is high time again. Because Mukama Fubanyonyo Day, Mr. Kauma, ne lop, sente zetagisa every day sente zetambula. So, but Jako sente deliberately to frustrate us. But let's surprise them. Let's show them that the budget. Nga UAE, we are, as I said, tubadde tukola okumulimu gonna okusoboka okumirira n'enkyukakyuka. And we have mobilized, not starting today. We didn't start today. All along, tubadde to mobilizing our funds. And through the departments we have in UAE, our finance minister, Mr. Ahmad, he will come and break down center maker already is fundraising idwa. Mekeza kasini kuba kuchitebe ate mugwanika tuyinamu kyenkana kye. But no matter nti twawayo bate twawayo before, we are here to pay. Oye yawayo as I've mobilized you or I've been mobilizing you, it's high time again to stand until we ensure that cause ya fejetulike guse. We can do anything whatever we are to be purposeful and effective to the struggle. Tonight nga owa UAE I'm going to pledge emitwalo 2 aga Uganda, but ngenda kusindika right now emitwalo 10 jigende wa finance wafe Mr. Ahmad ngenda kusindikira emitwalo 10 ogifune kati then emitwalo 10 mekera nga bwe noonya abayinza okunzirukirira mu bakyali bange abayinza okumpoola oba wenyinza okukwata meeting wenegwera inshallah nyiza okuba na John gifunya 2 naye nga mbakunga mwenna banayo yasiba akasente ku kikoyi abayina certificate nga mwawaayo tongere tuweeyo kubanga budget yaffe yali yetaga bilioni 9 nete tunaweza wadde 2. So at least we can something for abali ku mawanga. Nja kusaba wa finance Mr. Ahmad ojjo kwato omuzindaalo abantu oyongere okubasomera n'ennamba kuba wagitaddewo mu comment section njirabye batongero gibasomera ne options ezenjawulo abantu abali mu UAE abatayina mobile money ngoli ayinza okuba ina account nayo gisome nga wa finance atutwala then again ero temere otubulire ne kyetulinawo ku lw'ensonga eno okyanjulire olukuŋŋaana lwa leero bakama baffe. For now kan muzikizo omuzindaalo nganding over eri chairman w'olukiiko lwa leero. But before that, I think Mr. Ahmad, you can come in, then you hand over the microphone. Thank you so much.
Mr. Ahmad, are you available? Mr. Ibrahim, Marvin, I don't know if they can mute. Basolo unmuting. Or do they need access from you?
Yes, Doctor. No. I najikozenga buli omu asobola okukwata kazindaalo ke na asobola okwanmutinga n'ayogera. So
Mr. Ahmad, you're still muted, Sebo.
4 points at this stage of battle. We took 4 points in the first 13.
Mr. Ahmad.
This is a cost setting here because people unmute themselves saying about background noise. Nae basobola okwanmutinga. They have the ability.
Mr. Ahmad, what are you available?
Marvin, ompulira. Hello.
Yes, abankulira.
Yeah, first of all, munebaza abaganda bange ab'omu Gulf abali in charge of today's fundraiser. I think omuntu omu agendeko mu comment section kuba waliyo abali mu kubeera nga they are contributing from there. naye nze just kyenjagala okuyisaawo on behalf of my chairman Robert Chitunzi, in my capacity as the vice chairperson for the European chapter, njagala kuyisaawo kano oba onzikiriza nti certificates twazifuna. We got the certificates from the headquarters as a contribution. So whoever contributes 75 euros and above, you will receive your certificate in time. You will get your certificate well signed by the president. We have them in plenty. Abali mu Dutch Belgium chapter or Dutch Belgium, you can contact Katumba. I think my comment section a number Saturday Zamasimu. Swedish chapter, you can contact Pole over Robert Kenyini. German chapter, you can contact Dorothy. And Austria, you can contact Isaac. And Denmark, you can contact Isaac Denmark. France, you can contact Mugisha. Swiss, you can contact Marie. Bebaina certificates is a mwe. So if you contribute 75 and above, we will take note of your name, and maybe we can contact you so that you can receive your certificate. And in case you want to purchase even another fundraiser certificate, you can contact those people there. I've put the information in the comment section so that we can make this happen. Thank you very much, Marvin. I'm sorry for hijacking.
Nedda sebo mwa mugicha twali buzibu atera mwebale emirimu eyo gye mukola. Ya atera nange treasurer waffe wa US abali wano ng'ova mu US twagala okubategeeza nti yes twafunye certificate okuva ku kitebe. So buli mu chapter yo gy'olimu gamba chapter leader wo alina reaching out to Mwami Elvis Balikalaba afune certificates za chapter yamwe. So the certificates, at least they're reaching out to most of the chapters around the world. Banange tunonye sente. Doctor, omuntu agenda tuyambako okusoma comments eziri mu
tugenda zisoma naye mbadde kyalina obuzibu okuyita mu chapter za Gulf. Mwami Ibrahim Sebo.
Dr. ndowooza nzize kwendi.
Kale bannaye tukiyise mu bwangu bannaye tuyite mu region zonna eza Gulf mangu abantu bafune information tulabe nti bannaye tuva wano nga tuli productive nga tulina kye tujjeemu. So Mwami Ibrahim genda maaso.
Okay, neyanziza akakisa kano ke mumpadde mbalamusizaako mwenna banna struggle protocols observed. Olw'obudde nja bayitiramu katono nnyo nga tumanyi nti twatandika fundraising long time ago. Twagironkingira actually in our roadmap mwezi ogwali ogwa February era nitugamba nga UAE chapter tujja kubanga tu raisinga milioni 3 ziyambeko towards the campaign oba nomination ya president. Twakola initiative eyo era good of it twalonchinga nitutegeeza liaison officer waffe mukulu Sas Marvin era mu that kaweefube twasobola oba as of today tusobodde okubeera nga at least 25M zigenze towards the certificates era ba member abo 96 bamaze okubeera nga bafuna ne certificates zaabwe. So already 25M ngayo each chapter tubadde nga tumaze okukikola ekyo. So oluvannyuma ate era olw'okuba nti twalangirirwa nga Gulf okuba nti tugenda kutegeka fundraising omulundi guno era nga UAE chapter coordinator waffe ya situkiramu mangu mukulu Anodi n'agamba tubeeko kye tukola. So in that capacity twatandikawo kozi ebintu ebisinga obungi tubituuma emiramwa ne tugamba tukolerera kino ne tugamba kati tukolere goal ya kubeera nga tukuba poster za president. So as of today tugenda tandika ne contribution ya $500 okuva mba member ng'era nzina in cash olunaku olwaleero. Ekyokubiri ne dirham 10 oba osobola okugamba $10,000 ngireceivinze from mukulu Anodi Subi Kalule coordinator wa UAE with a pledge $10,000 emirala. Nfunyewo okusuubizibwa wa mukulu David Sim n'agamba agenda tuwaayo dirham 5. So nsaba okutangaazamu bana UAE olunaku olwaleero mostly tutuukiriza kozi sente ezo zibalwa ne tusobola okuzisindika ng'obudde bukyali. So ngenda bakubiriza oye na pledge nze at least maximum enkyabeere nga atuukiriza tubeere nga tusindika ssente ezo ate zikole ekyetaagisibwa. Nfunye diramu endala 50 oba emitwalo 5 okuva ewa mukulu Mawejje Musa naye awangalira wano mu UAE. So as of now zezo ssente ezakayingira tubaddewo n'emitwalo 5 okuva ku initiative we twawulira nti Gulf tugenda, then emitwalo 10 okuva wa mukulu Anodi, then n'emitwalo 5 okuva ewa mukulu Mawejje. Wembanga ndisivinzeeyo ssente endala ngenda kubeera nga mbategeeza, naye era nga nange wendi omwanika nja kuva waggulu nga nange ntaddeko emitwalo 10. Neyanza nnyo doctors of now.
Thank you so much UAE. Bannaye mwebale nnyo bannaye obuwagizi bwonna bwe muwadde. Abalala abaliko abatanneeyama aba UAE musobola okupostinga mu group so that mukulu Amadi following up namwe mulabe nga mucompilinga donation zonna eza leero n'okweyongera mu maaso. Chapter eriwo eyagala okuddako eya Gulf osobola okuunmutinga abakulembeze abali available. Qatar, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia.
Dr. Kwendi.
Ese bugenda ma.
Amanya Baguma Joseph, coordinator wa Qatar chapter. Sebo mukama wa Felop, Joel Senyonyi, ba Gulf team leader Patricia Mugisha, Diaspora team leader Dr. Kauma, ba team leaders abalala bonna, ba chapter coordinators, abakulembeze mwena mu biti byammwe ebyenjawulo, ne ba comrades abaliko mu nzikiriza embalamuse mu kiramuso ekisinga nti assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Kakati njagala twala mukisa guneeno okwebaza abakulembeze baffe okuva mu US abajja n'entegeka eno, naye ate naffe ne mutulowoozaako aba Gulf. Kakati fenga ab'e Qatar omulamwa guneeno twagwaniriza nnyo era tukoze ekisoboka kyonna okulaba nti okuva lwe mwatutegeeza nti tugenda baako ne kye tutegeka, ne tutandika okunga abantu baffe. Era nga message gye tubadde tuyisa, tubadde tugezaako batemera ekifaananyi okubalaga nti kano akaseera ke tulimu tuzzeeyo eri mu 82 abasajja be tulwana we bagendera mu nsiko, era okubalaga nti bwe baali mu nsiko balina abantu ababafujjirira ssente ababeezaawo ebikolwa bye baakola ku bannayuganda, naye ng'ate waliwo era bannayuganda baali babifujjirira okuva emitala w'amayanja. Ekyo nno kitulaga nti naffe okwejja oba okwenunula ku basajja abo, ife abali eno mu diaspora tulina okukola ekintu kye kimu, okulaba nti tuyimirira ne bannaffe abaagala abatwegasseeko okugyawo embeera embi eri mu nsi yaffe okuva ku musibira mu bbwa baneeno abamaze emyaka 4 nga batuliisa akakanja. Ssente zonna z'olina, njogera naawe ali diaspora, njogera naawe ali mu Gulf, ali mu UK, ali mu EU, ali mu US, ali mu Canada ne walala yonna. Oba oyina dola, oba oyina ki, oba oyina ki, ennusu eyo oyinza ogiraba, oba ssente oyinza ogiraba nti mu nsi gy'olimu ssente ntono nnyo, naye ate bw'ogikwata n'ogiteeka mu chaputayo oba n'ogisindika direct ku kitebe, egenda kukola enjawulo y'amaanyi nnyo. Ng'abakulembeze abatutwala be bavudde waggulu nga boogera, buli nnusu tugyetaaga. Waneeno we tuli ne wali we tulaga, tuleme kukoma kusonda, tuleme kwetamwa kusonda. Kino eno kye tulwanirira si kya NUP yokka, nedda, twenunula. Tuli mu kulwana kulaba nti abaana baffe abazzukulu baffe basanga Uganda ng'eringa ensi ze tuwangaaliramu essaawa zino eno. Tetukyekolera lwa pati, tetukikolera pati, tetukyekolera ng'abantu, naye tukikolera biseera byabo be tuzadde n'abalijja mu maaso. So toola ky'otoola ng'otoola na mutima gumu, ng'era okimanyi nti w'osiga wagenda kungulwa emirundi egisukka mu 1,000. Lopo atulaze nti buli nnusu gye tuwa ekitebe eriko embalirira, era ffeffeke ekibiina ekituukiriza ebyo amateeka ge bigamba nti buli mwaka tulina otwalanga embalirira ewa Auditor General. Kati gwe akyesisigiriza atayagala kukwata mu nsawo okuteekayo ssente, oba alaba nti ky'otaddeyo kingi nnyo naye ng'owulira ekibiina kikyasaba kikyetaaga ssente, ngenda kusaba bambi ne bw'oba nga olina emitwalo 20 egye Uganda, at least lyako 10 ogiteeke mu Uganda empya. Ebisuubizo bye mulaba ebiri mu manifesto yaffe si bigambo bugambo nga manifesto za NRM, nedda. Ekibiina kyaffe essaawa zino tukirabye nti bye batugamba bakola n'ossingawo ku bye batugamba. Already tulaba pati byekoze mu myaka 5 gyemazeewo. Mwe mulowooza bwe tulwana ne twenunula Uganda myaka 5 egiddako egenda kubeerawa? So nva waggulu nga mbeegayirira nti konna ke tulina, abakadaama, basekadaama n'abalala mwenna abaliko ku neeno ku Zoom, abali ku TikTok n'emikutu emirala gyonna, mutuyambe tubeegayiridde. Akatono ke muyina tukeebaza, mukasindike, kagenda somebwa, bwe kabanga kafuna certificate nga bwe tuzze nga tukola, certificate zigenda kujja mu bbanga ttono ng'abazze baleeta ssente bwe tuzze nga tukikola. Era bwe zibanga tezisobola kufunisa certificate, era risiiti yo egenda kutuuka ku wonna ab'oli bw'oba ng'oli mu kkata. N'ebigambo ebyo Dr. Nsabo nzikirize omuzindaalo nguwe chairperson wa task force collecting ssente zaffe SK Nash ajje atutemeretemeremu, era munzikirize ssaawa zino zennyini nteekeko emitwalo 10 neyanziza.
Neba nemba kubiriza naye tuyitemu bimpimpi olwakadde oba emikono njiraba mingi, abakulembeze mbasaba tuyitemu bimpimpi tufokasinge ku fundraiser. Sente mmeka ne chapter gy'ova bwekityo bannange agenda maaso.
Abakulembeze mwenna, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Amannya n'eddoboozi nze Saula Kasim Abnash, abbreviated as SK Nash. Munzikirize nzikijjidde mu account ya National Unity Platform Kata Chapter official page yaffe, era yekola ne ku TikTok yaffe. Kakati mu nsonga nga bwe zigenda mu maaso, mukkirize nti naffe twali twaziwombamu dda omutwe nga bwe zibadde nga zijje zitambula okwetooloola ensi yonna n'okwetooloola ebitundu ebyenjawulo mu Uganda, okutwaliza awamu ne ku headquarters eza National Unity Platform. Nsanyuse nnyo okubeera nti tufunye abakulembeze ab'enjawulo okuva mu bitundu ebyenjawulo, era mukkirize omukisa guno ntwaleko bye ngenda okuyisaamu katono sofa bye twakakuŋŋaanyawo ku desktop yaffe nga task force ya campaign fundraising.
Nagenda mu maaso, waliwo omukyala ali Vietnam ali mu kubabuuza
Mugisha ovuddeko.
Yeah, just madde nkugamba waliwo omukyala ali mu comment section ali Vietnam naye abuuza engeri gy'asobola okubateerako ssente ng'akozesa debit card. So nakyo kigattemu. Bamuyita Harriet.
Omukyalo wa debit card tugenda kuteekawo link. Doctor maybe tukozese gundi ya credit card ne debit card. Mwamugisha kanjikuweereze ssebo oba kanjiteeka wano mu chat group.
Yeah, giteeke mu comment section kuba mwali mukyala Harriet.
Okay, thank you, sir. All right.
Mukyala Harriet tukusaba oteekeko ennamba yo so that following up naawe so oba olina ennamba ya WhatsApp mukyala Harriet kituyamba okutuukirira amangu okuwa guidance. Thank you.
Okay, can I proceed?
Agenda maaso comrade, sorry for interruption. Agenda maaso.
Okay. Mbadde ntegeeza nti nga task force eya Kata chapter twatandika fundraising yaffe as part of our commitment nga twatagetinga so far millions zaali 2.25 era nga tusindiikirizaako so far mu doketi ya headquarters National Platform Kavule so far twakadepositingayo millions nga 5 n'emitwalo nga 2 muzigwamu awo. So olunaku lw'olwaleero tetugenda kudda mu history, twagala ku moving forward. Era mu moving forward omulanga guno egwaze ne gutuukirwako ne gutuweebwa omukisa okubeera nti tutandika obaffe abagenda okuba abateesiteesinga aba Gulf. Kata yatandikidde mu bantu abakulembeze ne tugenda nga tukkirira mu ssekinnoomu era tetwagobye ssente yonna okuva ku ntono mpaka ku nnene ezikyasembye ze twakafuna. So far bwenjogerera wano nga coordinator waviridde waggulu ataddeyo emitwalo 10 twagireceivinze nga task force era tugireceivinze ku kusimu wengendedde okujjira computer. Tufunyeyo emitwalo 5 okuva ewa mukulu Jeff era naye azisindise ayinza okuba tannaba kujjako naye yatuwulidde omulangira mu chat group yaffe bikyagenda mu maaso agisindise emitwalo 5. Ne tufunayo era emitwalo 2 okuva ewa Alozius Mukisa era nga nayo azisindise zituuse. Maaso awo tujja kwongera tukyanyigiriza eno mu chat group tukyayina betulabinamu essuubi abapleginze edda tulinze confirmations zaabwe tujja kuba tukomawo okuba updates endala okusingako. Era bakomrades tubeebaza nnyo n'olw'omukisa ogwo nja kuddamu okufuna mu maaso akakisaawo okubeera nti tubaako bye tulina twongera okuttaanya. Kazindalo nkakomezaawo ssebo. Mpozi katono nnyo comrades abawangaalira mu Kata chapter oba mu Kata ennamba zaffe ziyitawaawo ku Kata official page no Kata chapter official page nowa SKSAD. Abantu abo ze nnamba eziri officially eziri receiving sente eza chapter oba eza fundraising. Era nga ngenda kusomera ennamba w'ojja olaba ng'eriko 749217762 eri mu mannya ga Namumbejja Daffin. Z'oba olina Airtel, MTN zicrossinga naawe ali mu Kata nga toyina nnamba za MTN eza mobile money oba eza Uganda eza mobile money osobola okuyita ku nnamba eza Olido oba ku Olido machines zonna mu Kata. Ennamba ya Olido eri 50606459 eri mu mannya ga welfare department yaffe era mu mannya ga Saadi Kirya. Ennamba ezo ziyitawo mu chat box osobola okugendayo n'ozikeberako n'odipositinga tujja kuba tufuna confirmation ku side yaffe. Tweyanziza nnyo tweyanzege.
Thank you, comrades.
Doctor, can I chip in just for a second? An update?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, jawulo atusindikidde emitwalo 6 gituuse. Then Madam Jamila Namutamba atusindikidde emitwalo 5 gituuse mu UAE. Mukulu Abdul Katawabi nawe otusindikidde emitwalo 10 njirisiivinze mu UAE. Madam Kagoya Sumaya otusindikidde emitwalo 10 njirisiivinze mu UAE. Then n'omukulembeze omulala head of events mukulu Ziptex atuwadde $10. So naye awangalya wano mu UAE. So just an update. Era nyongera okukongola bamemba mwenna tulina abakulembeze omukulembeze Madam Mariam kwali on TikTok ali mu kuweereza live Zoom ene egenda maaso so musobola okukozesa that means okulaba nga fundraising ekyagenda maaso. Neyanza Doctor.
Bannaye mwebale nnyo mwenna tusiima nnyo naddala nammwe abali ku TikTok eyo gye muli tubasaba obubaka mu butuuse nkimanyi abasinga muli ku platforms ez'enjawulo collection points ezo abali ku TikTok muzisharinge obubaka bubeere nga butuuka. Bannaye nga aba US chapter sinalaba movement Madam Marvin aba US chapter njagala naffe tutandike okulaba nti tuteekayo. So those from the US chapter, UK chapter, Canada, bannaye tetusobola kulekerera Gulf naffe tuli tukwatira wamu nabo. So twagala okulaba contributions nga zitandise aba US chapter, Canada chapter, UK, EU n'abalala. Please feel free to post your contribution.
Chairman, aba EU katubasookeyo mu comment section waliwo already eyawaddeyo 300 Swedish coronas for the Swedish chapter.
Okay.
Tubasooseyo mabiri.
Doctor nina obubaka one ngenda kusaba mwami amazing otekeyo collection points zaffe naye so far ku Boston chapter naka receivingayo $100 okuva wa mukyala Sarah Sally aweerezayo $100 ne mwami Farouk naye aweerezayo $3 so far with the Boston chapter so far ze twakafunayo naye nga era ngenda kuva gulu nga nkunga mwenna abali wano ba Bostonians wobeera ng'osindika making sure nti oteekako today's Zoom fundraising. Teekako ensonga today's Zoom fundraising. Kijja kubanga kitwangwera. Yes, Doctor. Genda maaso. Mwami amazing ngenda kusaba opening up number zaffe oba collection points zaffe za US Zelle ne Cash App ne protest vote. I think the one that we have that is running. Mwami Elvis is caught up a little bit. Ne ajja kubanga joining us very soon. So ngenda kusaba the lokozesa oziteeke sebo. Thank you so much, Dr. Kankudiza Kazindalo. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Doctor, sorry, Dr. Mwamba Vininga yakavako Aaron Chicago. Nange na receiving $1,500 from Chicago chapter.
Tweyanziza bannange tweyanziza Chicago chapter ne chapter endala bannaye tuli wano okukwatirako baganda baffe aba Gulf newankubadde be batucharinga leero twagala tuve wano nga tubuddewo n'amaanyi mangi okugenda mu weeks ebbiri eziddako. So ezo chapter tuziyiseemu. Chapter endala ya Gulf eri ready. Feel free to unmute omukulembeze wa Gulf.
Dr. Bahrain chapter.
Yes, ogenda maaso.
Amanya Kagwa Benjamin, coordinator Bahrain chapter. Njagala okubalamusaako mwenna abasobodde okubeerawo olunaku olwaleero. Olunaku luno lwa njawulo erife abana Gulf baweereddwa omukisa okukulembera enteekateeka eno. Ekitubeeza wano oba ekitukuŋŋaanyiza wano y'enteekateeka y'okulaba nga na enkyukakyuka mu nsi yaffe Uganda olw'obulumi bwe tulina abasinga obungi. So tubadde tugezaako nnyo okulaba nga tusobola genda waka ku ground naye tugezezaako okulaba nga tukwatira wamu okulaba nga tusapootinga enteekateeka ezo. Nga Bahrain chapter twewa katala oba omulimu gw'okulaba nga mu nteekateeka eno yonna eya protest vote oba ey'okukyusa eggwanga lyaffe okuyita mu democratic way nga ne tugamba tugenda sonda million 10 okuyita mu campaign yonna. So enteekateeka eyo egenda mu maaso naye twagenze okubalaba nga we twawulidde amolegana okukuba tukulembera enteekateeka ey'olwaleero yatusanze nga tuli mu nteekateeka y'okuba nti tuli mu end of month okufuna omusaala. Abantu abasinga bakolera musaala wano Bahrain tuli bafunyi ba musaala. So nga enteekateeka ng'ekirowoozo kyaffe yonna n'ensubi lyaffe biri ku musaala guno okulaba nga tukutuukiriza ekyo kye twali tweyama okuba ku mutima gwaffe okulaba nga tukituukiriza. Naye era mu nteekateeka y'emu twawulidde omulanga bakomedi twekozeemu omulimu era okakana nga tuwezezaawo emitwalo 7 era zo zamaze okutuuka eri treasurer waffe era zigenda kubeera nga zisindikibwa e Uganda. So far bwe tukyayimiridde sijja kwogera kuzeeyamiddwa kubanga twagala action era eziyamidwawo zinaba nga zituuseko abagenda okufuna omusaala nga bagenda tula ku musaala gwabwe tujja kubeera nga tuzanjuluza fe tageti yaffe ya miliyoni 10 zitujja okubeera nga tukola ki tusonda so tutaase n'emitwalo 7 eziriwo mu cash zigenda kubeera nga zituuka mu ggwanika e Kampala neyanza nnyo neyanzeege
tweyanziza nnyo baganda baffe aba Bahrain mwebale nnyo obuwagizi bwonna bannaye bw'oba tofunye kazindaalo kozesa chat. If you haven't been able to get the microphone, use the chat to type your contribution, put your name, your chapter and how much you're contributing. Bw'oba tomanyi chapter yo era teekawo amannya go ffe tujja kunoonya tulabe nti tukuwa information ew'okuwa obweyamo obwo okusupporting a protest vote. So tweyanziza nnyo bannaye bannaffe UAE, Saudi, Ababari ne chapter endala zonna. So tweyongere mu maaso n'abakulembeze ba Gulf. Feel free to unmute Besinayita bw'oba oli mukulembeze mu Gulf. Njagala kuwa akakisa kano nga tunnagenda mu chapter endala tulabe nga mwenna tubamazeeyo.
Dr. Kauma.
Yes, genda maaso.
Dr. Kauma, can I flick in just for 2 minutes? Over 1 minute.
Polio, to update from Sweden.
Nedda mwe mulina okumpa update kubanga nfunyemu incoming call naye kyempuliddewo something about the Swedish chapter simanyi oba waliwo abadde contributing nze simanyi kati badde njagala kuntagazaamu awo katono
mu comment section was reading mulimu omusajja contributing the 300 I think Swedish coroners for the Swedish chapter. You can go in the comment section because he typed in the comment section.
Okay. Thank you for the update.
Kale bambigenda maaso. Simanyi abadde ali unmuted, abadde wa Saudi, abadde wa
nange nnyingiddewo katini oba mpeereddwa olukusa.
Waliwo abadde ayogera gwe interrupting nze mbadde sinnamuwulira linnya.
Okay, nze ndi eno nnyo njagala asigale ng'ayogera kati ni nnyo ku TikTok twetaaga owa Bahrain kuba bagambye balina engeri gye basindikamu ssente antereko mu comment section how they send the money there. Kyokka kye mbadde njagala.
Kale omukulembeze owa Bahrain ndowooza owulidde message eyo typing mu chat wa abantu gye baweereza ssente aba Bahrain. Kale oba katubuulidde obwo, thank you very much. Agenda maaso nnyo.
Balamusizaako mwenna ba leaders baffe. Amannya Atwire Jessica, coordinator NUP Saudi Arabia chapter. Mwebale kwekuumirako, mwebale kwagala nsi yammwe. We tutuukidde wano nga NUP Saudi Arabia chapter. We baakubira omulanga gwa campaign, bamembazi baffe basooka kusondanga kinnoomu. Bwe twafuna amawulire ga gali for postinga ne tusalawo tuba organizing nga NUP Saudi Arabia chapter naffe tuweeyo kyenkanyi nga tuli kitole and so far wenjidde wano treasurer waffe nze n'angamba nti akuŋŋaanyizaayo essaawa eno bamuwaddeyo emitwalo 10 cash okuva Madamu Juliet ate mu nsawo yaffe tubadde tulinamu emitwalo 8,400 which means now cash we have emitwalo 9,400 so far.
Tweyanziza nnyo mwebale bannaye omulimu ogwo gwe mukola. Twongere okukunga obubaka butuuke mu bantu abalala abatali ku Zoom eno abali ku TikTok n'abalala muteeke collection points ezo mu chat abantu beeyongere okweyama. Bannaye tukyaliko abantu nga 10 ku meeting eno ne ku TikTok wali abalala bannaye buli omu abeereyo ng'alina kyasudde mu nsawo. We have over 100 people on this Zoom and there are others online on social media platforms. Please, even if whatever it is, even if it's $5, $10, or if you're dirhams or euros or pounds, whatever you have, let's all live at least making a small contribution. Struggling, it is supported by our numbers. For the twin treasury, tetutola ssente ku muwi wa musolo. Support ya struggle eva mu maanyi g'abantu. So amaanyi gammwe mwenna ge gatambuza struggle eno mu maaso. So obungi bwaffe ne bwe kaba katono kw'otaddeyo naye bwe tukikola mu bungi akakatono kw'ogatta akalala n'akalala bw'otyo bw'ofuna amaanyi agatutambuza era gagenda okutambuza campaign yaffe nga tweyongera mu maaso. Mwenna bannaye temuva ku meeting eno nga tolina ky'osudde mu kibbo.
Nina update Doctor wano.
Yes.
One also Secretary General agambye agenda kuba joining very soon. Ekintu ekirala nfunye $10 okuva omukyala Lydia Kaddu. Thank you so much. Nfunye $3 okuva wa mwami Cyrus Kalungana, that is from Louisiana. Thank you so much. But comrades abaina mobile money. Waliwo enamba eryoko nekifaananyi ky'entimbye eya mobile money yiyo 0759754403 erimanya ga Elvis Balikalaba mwe abalina applications ezisindika mobile money. For this fundraising session, a number gye tubanga tugenda okukozesa mu abali wano nga mwandetaza okusindika mobile money. We shall be having live updates from that particular number. Ngenda kusaba Polly obanga calling mpulira oba somebody asobola okuwandika this information down is that different chapters from around the world such that we can come up with a final overall figure evuddemu eno fundraising. Thank you so much, Dr. Kankudiza Kazindalo. Thank you.
Comrade Marvin, yes, katono nnyo. Bahrain chapter tufunyeyo emitwalo 5 okuva ewa Senyange Ivan. Era tulina secretary treasurer waffe ayitibwa Josephine Katende yakwata sente zaffe enamba ngitaddeko wansi eri ku benefit pay. Tukozesa benefit pay wano Bahrain. Thank you so much.
Tweyanziza nnyo bannaye mwenna mwebale nnyo mwebalire ddala. Esebo
nange nfunyeyo emitwalo emirala 10 okuva ewa Madam Zamani wano mu UAE.
Kale bannaye tweyanziza.
Dr. Bahrain tufunye emitwalo 5 okuva ewa Peter Kakuru Bahrain atwadde emitwalo 5 tutegeeza tuyingidde emitwalo 8 ejje Uganda. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bannaye mweyongera okuweereza update ezo, don't be afraid of interrupting. Gega amawulire ffe ge twagala okuwulira. Contributions are coming through. Yes, sebo genda maaso.
Comrade Marvin, badde nsaba okebere mu chatroom waliwo message okuva mu USA. Mukyala Harriet depositing $100 through the link.
Thank you for that update, comrades.
Mukyala Harriet azitadde ku gundi ku link gye twataddeyo, correct? I suppose.
Chat room, yeah. Eri mu chat room atadeko details. Mbadde nsaba okebere mu chat room sebo.
Kale sebo, thank you so much.
Comrade Marvin. Mbadde mbuuza, if it's okay you can repeat the figures kubanga kati onkubyeko ekintu ate nga tuli in the middle of everything kati simanyi ani awadde ki. I'm very lost. So
Folenga bwe bakuwa contacts ezo Harriet ava mu Vietnam. Harriet from Vietnam ye yataddeko sente.
Anti nedda Comrade Marvin abadde agamba ayagala tukole gundi ki? Ayagala kufuna the addition of the overall gundi contribution. Naye
Namba Marvin atadde sente ku app. She's from Vietnam.
Okay. Yeah, so ngenda confirming kwekyo. Mukyala Pole. Ngenda kuleka ba treasurers aba chapters ezenjawulo. Bakubuulire sofa ze balinawo. Then owandike wansi nti Gulf oba Dubai oba Qatar, there's no west ze balina, US sofa ze balina. So
yeah, I understand.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, oyagala nkiwandike in the chat room or should I do a draft on my Gundi paperwork? Then mbabulire at the end of the...
Yeah.
I make a draft.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you
okay,
so much.
thank you. Then just give me 2 minutes and I have to prepare myself. Then we can shoot.
Okay, kale
I appreciate you.
mwebale nnyo. Tugenda kuddayo mu Gulf. Waliwo chapter ya Gulf gye siise oba abatannayogera kubanga oli mu Gulf nga wakyaliwo obweyamu obujja nga tetunnabwogerako. Mbasaba you unmute yourself. Oba nga oli mu Gulf ng'oyagala tuwa update mu chapter yo, you can also do that. So aba Gulf chapter zonna ziweddeyo.
Tuli waneno faba TikTok. I want them to check abakasindikako ka update ya. Waliwo Florence atuweereza gumu 10, accessories 2, Yash na J2. Waliwo ne Hirat aweereza emitwalo 5. Then Lucky Girl ale Bahrain asindise bazita benefits 3. I don't know how they call it. Ndowooza baba Bahrain mubitegeera. And then emitwalo 5 giri mu Saudi Arabia chapter. Please check it out. The other money is in the UAE number. Please check it with me. Thank you.
Mbadde nsaba comrade mbadde nsaba confirming ezize Bahrain nange confirming wano because I can check with the treasurer. Ziri sente meka era namanya alesegiti. It's benefit pay na at the center meka then you can see it down. I'll quite screenshot. Ajiteka waneno obaji kuwerezo jituwerezo wano.
Bananga, sorry to interrupt. Benefit, what do you mean? A cash or is it a pledge? Try to explain. No.
Benefit is a benefit pay. It's a transaction. How you can transaction your money from your phone to the when you're making a payment. It's called a benefit.
Yeah, I understand. So, transacting from where to where?
Transacting from his account to the number that we are giving or that number.
Okay, in cash. Okay, I understand. Okay, yes. Thank you. Yes. Saudi Arabia, UAE, in Jagalan's total, it will work for me. It's easier.
I think as a total katuja tubaleka bazikole, so they will tabulate them, then tuja buy home home.
Okay.
But then you got tuwale kumikono emirala ejiriyo. Marvin yeno gundi image blocking emikono sigira abulungi. Simanyi once in a while osolo jijjao flyer. So that I have better visibility ndabe ekigenda maaso bwobo inakyagala okwogera ndaba mwami Francis ogwo mukono Francis Kiza.
Yes sir.
Genda maaso so.
Mbaramusiza banange nakatuuka musonyi okutuuka leete mva ku mulimu naye simanyeze n'okuleegezi nti nange nsobola kweyamanyinze baku Lwokubiri bwe nsobola kufuna ku sente.
Yes.
Emitwalo 5.
Thank you very much, Sebo. Chapter yo Sebo
and the one in Dubai.
Or in Dubai, okay. So a comrade by UAE basobola okutuukira ina information yo kuziweereza.
Nyina groups ezindiko. Banze some wano muzemoli
So banaye mu UAE ani anatukira mwami Kiza.
Nyina group gyendiko bagita protest vote. Nyinendala mission 2026 zona mbeerako waliko n'omukulu George Care nteera kumutuukira bwe mbanga njagala kujja kimpaayo nsobola kuziyisa mu ye n'azituusa.
Comrade UAE chapter mwami Arnold ne team yo treasurer aliruddawa mwami Ahmad akyaliko. Okay, so Mwami Chiza, thank you so much. We'll follow up with you on that.
UAE, we have the number and on. You have TikTok account?
No.
Where do you live?
Why you here? I got kumanya wa kuwereza sente. I think
okay.
Mobile number.
Comment section ojikube screenshot.
Kale. So just post that in the comment section.
It's okay, jikube screenshot then olunaku lw'oyagala osindika osindikeko zijja kutuuka.
So Mr. Francis knows the number ogiraba bagitaddeko UAE chapter fundraising number query under Comrade Ibrahim, I think. So you can get that information. Comrades, anyone else from the Gulf? I wanted to make sure I give you an opportunity ngaba host baffe so that we exhaust all the chapters mu Gulf. So I got waliwo atayogedde ku bakulembeze kutuwa updates.
Ninayoko updates kusatu.
Yes, go ahead.
Nokupata chapter. Ninako Hedigaro wa Bobby atuwaddeyo emitwalo 2.5. Nene tubeerawo ne Makirini atuwaddeyo gumu kitundu. Ne tubeerawo ne Njakasi Nsasage wa Bobby atuwaddeyo emitwalo 3. So far tubadde tukyayimiridde bwe tutyo nga otusindikiriza abalala okubeera nga batuwumya. Bannaye abaliko tuyisaako ennamba zaffe awo ku chat box. Osobola okuyisaako ssente ne zituuka oba bonna w'osobodde kavule account numbers ku nnaku eziri.
Thank you so much for the update.
Doctor.
Yes.
Mpozi nange ninawo update.
Yes,
Madam Daisy Waine tuwaddeyo emitwalo 10. Mpozi ne Comrade Mariam ali ku TikTok mbadde mu update nti sente sina zi receiving from TikTok.
Okay, kale so. Enamba yogina.
Yeah, ngenda muteerako waka message actually. So n'omukulu oyo abadde ali Abu Dhabi enamba oba groups ez'emu gy'ayogeddeko ya protest vote mweri n'ennamba kweri so ye main platform yayo e chapter so enamba kweziri.
Okay. Okay, so. Thank you. Comrades. Yes, sir.
A quick one, again, anodically, UAE. Mbadde ninawo ka idea nti olwokuba nti mukwagala okutuusa wala event ya leero okwongera okufuna sente mu bantu waliwo baganda baffe ate nga bamu bakulembeze nga Madam Mariam bagize gundi ne bagiconnectinga ku TikTok. So ku TikTok it's another department almost eriyo number. So kati mbadde ndowooza nti wabanga waliwo ene update naddala nga waliwo omuntu a contributing she can come in and read that person again nti abantu bonna bali ku TikTok mbadde tusaba omuntu wagamba nti nasindise emitwalo 5 asooka ku screenshot so that tugende omubogendo omuntu weno ng'olwedde finance as confirms cause agatta naye ayinza okugatta sente ng'oli apulaginze ngate tanabazisindika ate mathematics najja bulala oba ne tubeera n'essanyu oba oliusi ery'empewo. N'ekirala Mr. Kauma, it's a question to you. Do you suggest the entire meeting, do you suggest nti abantu abapledging enkya jja leeta oba okosa enkya basome erinnya lye or only those who have paid cash? Thank you.
Ne pledge tuzaaniriza of course ng'abakulembeze tujja basaba mu following up n'abantu abo abapledge nze kati bw'oba owandiika tabulation yo tugamba cash on hand ne pledges so that tuzaawula naye nga nabo tuba recognize kuba n'atusuubiza enkya tusuubira nti bagenda zituusa so we recognize them as well and we encourage that sometime kuba abantu abasinga ayinza okuba taziina leero nga ajja ziwensi netwagala at least tubaleko point nabo okulaba nti batuwulira kye bagenda okuleeta. So thank you for that. Comrade Hadija, you unmuted yourself. Olina submission. Comrade Hadija is muted now. Bananga Bagaf, anyone else has something to contribute?
Nina update doctor from the US.
Yes, Marvin.
Yes, njagala kubebaza mwenna ababaddeko ne kye bakola so far. Njagala ku acknowledginga Mwami John Bwanika aweerezaayo $45 $45 njagala ku recognizing mwami Nakabale Godfrey, thank you so much. Otwadde $3. So far, yes, so far that's what I have. Muchala Harriet, I'm logging into the system. It's just that the very computer jenkoze satera yeriko Zoom, so I'm trying to log into the that online payment. Ngenda kuba updating naye I'm 100% sure obubaka bwo butuuse. Mwami Amazing ngenda kwongera nkusabe, keep on posting our collection points zibeere waawo abantu nga baziraba. Thank you so much. Doctor, I'll get back to you.
All right, thank you, comrade. So comrades, I think we have gone through all the Gulf chapters. Is there any chapter we haven't mentioned in the Gulf?
Professor Michael rahmatullahi barakatuh.
Kakati, Doctor, mbadde nakyo njagala clarifying waliwo messages mu group ngebuuza mu chat box ngebuuza nti 5BD means money. Kakati yenakola recording omuntu bwagamba 5BD, that is 5 Bahrain dinars, meaning give emitwalo Uganda give 5, naye bwe giba nga gituuka Uganda gituuka 5 kubanga kubeerako charges and exchange rate matters most. Kati zino ziyinza okuba emitwalo 5 Uganda naye bw'oba ogyeko transaction exchange rate giyinza okutuuka emitwalo 4 n'ekitundu oba emitwalo 4 mu 12. So wano tuliba tulibalangira emitwalo 5 oba oyinza emitwalo 5 naye nga in mind omanya nti kuliko charges. Buli 1BD bacharginga kubeerako charges, bank charges. Thank you. Ekirala omukyala ow'oku TikTok alabika yaweereza emitwalo BD 3, so kubanga kwetufunira ssente eraga nti kubuliko gulu transaction ekoleddwako mukulu eyita something general nga kuliko BD 3. I think that one is clear. Thank you.
And which chapter is that?
That is Bahrain chapter.
Bahrain chapter. Anyway,
yes.
Yeah, njagadde okubategeeza mwenna abali wano tuli streaminga ku pages za Facebook eziwerako through JB Muwonge. So to streaminga ku over 50 pages on Facebook. So abali bonna eyo nga muli ku Facebook muli kulaba Zoom ene egenda maaso. Musobola ogijoininga direct oba musobola okusigala ku Facebook naye ate era collection points wonna wooli getting in touch with your different chapters ze mulimu eyo. Facebook yo wogirabira oba oli kata oba oli liddawa ojja collecting eyo oba oli mu UK making sure nti you're able to collect through your chapter. Obanga oli US manya collection points tetunakuliza kuva ku chapter ye UK ya EU ekigenda maaso. So twandibadde tubawulizaako bannange abali eyo ne Germany n'abalala ne Africa.
Okay, mpozi nsobola okuwaayo ka update.
Doctor. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Mr. Ibu ataddeko emitwalo 10 kulamuzi wange yafa.
Ze zije anda Swamadu.
Anda Ssekabingo Somadu. Zange wazifunyidde ndowooza.
Yes, sebo era nziri savinze.
Tuyanza wange yafa.
Okay. So ibadde update. Doctor kwemuli?
Nkomyewo mbadde logged out but I'm back on.
Okay. So anda Ssekabingo tusindikidde emitwalo 10 ku Ramsey we eyafa. Allahumma ghafirahu warhamahu wafa'anhu wa akimin nudhura wa askinahu fil janna. Tusabiddeko ku muzeeyi we koze atutereddeko kasente ku Ramsey we. Allahumma amin. Doctor tulisivinze emitwalo emirala 3 okuva ewa Madam Remy awangalira side zeyo Ajumani wano mu UAE. Era ntulisivinga emitwalo emirala 10 okuva ewa Madam Tina awangalira wano mu UAE.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mami Ibrahim. Update okuva mu America. Nfunyeyo dola endala 3 okuva wa Mwami Isaac Sempa tweyanziza. Tufunyeyo endala dola 6 okuva wa Mwami Remigio Muganga. So tweyanziza bannanga ba US tubeeko ne kye tukola okuyamba ku struggle e Kampala. Mujjukire bannange no fundraising tebeera ya chapter emu yokka, ebeera ya global fundraising. So sente zonna eziva wano zijja kubanga ziteekebwa wamu omugatte tusobole okuzimanyisa Kampala ne group yonna eri wano eno nti fundraising y'olwaleero evuddemu sente weziti okuva mu America mufunyeyo weziti, okuva wano mufunyeyo weziti. So twerwaneko ab'omu US mwenna nga bwe muli wano buli ali kuno. I know there are different chapters here. Thank you so much. Abe UK, aba EU tunaba kubawulizaako, aba Africa Jaja Ibu n'abalala tetunaba kubawulizaako, abe Canada tetunaba kubawulizaako. Please feel free mutubuulire ki ekigenda maaso eyo. Microphone eri open for everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Comrade.
Nange campaign update.
Yes, go ahead, Comrade Paul.
Nange campaign update yasudi chapter nfunyeyo wano corona bisatu. I think it is equivalent to 100,000, something like that, Ugandan shillings.
Thank you, Comrade Paul.
Welcome.
Bwabaawo chapter endala oba updates okuva mu Gulf. Comrade Hadija olina ky'oyagala okutubuuzaako? You keep unmuting your line.
Yes, nsendiseeko nva mu UAE nsendiseeko emitwalo 10. Mr. Ibrahim ozirisiivenze.
Tweyanziza nnyo Madam Hadija. Comrade Ibrahim, mukyala Hadija agambye aweerezaayo sente muwe update to confirm that you have received it.
Emitwalo 10 okuva zize under the names of Catherine.
Faizo.
No, like a sender.
Yeah, Catherine.
Okay, so I have received that money. Emitwalo 10 okuva wa Catherine Mwesi.
Thank you so much. Thank you, comrade.
Comrades.
Yes, genda maaso, Comrade Benjamin.
Yeah, munsi y'omutima comrades banaye kansubire muli bulungi. I hope I'm allowed to talk.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, banange mwebala omulimu gwe mukola. Tugusiima nnyo naye kaakati pledging bambadde njam pledging ego okasente at least munaku nga 2 at least after tomorrow. Good evening. Yeah, at least munaku nga 2 verenga inze ne bannange tukuutizawo emitwalo nga 3. Simanyi bwe kigenda kukolebwa. At least I would like to pledge.
That's appreciated. Oli mu chapter kisewo?
Inze ndi mu UAE, ndi mu Abu Dhabi.
Okay. So Comrade Ibrahim omwami osobola mutuukirira mwami Benjamin.
Yegwe mwami ani? Benjamin.
Inze Nanfumba Benjamin, ICAT representative UAE.
Mr. Nanfumba Benjamin, pledge yo nkutegedde bulungi nnyo. Pledge eri etya?
Emitwalo 3.
Okay, the China
at least gagaja after tomorrow. After tomorrow is a Monday. I think it's a Monday.
Okay, techina buzibu. Dr. Mkulu oyo mumanyi bulungi nnyo. So njamutuukirira.
Kale tweyanziza nnyo mwami Benjamin era tukungire n'abalala. Bannaye gye muli yonna mukunge. You can reach out to your collection points so that sente ezo zituuka. Bw'oba toziina leero osobola okukola pledge. At least kituyamba okulaba bani abali willing to give something so we can follow up with them. Netubatuukirira. So tweyanziza nnyo sewo. I see some other hands. Banne bw'oba tosobola kuwanika mukono, just unmute obeyo nekyoyogera kuba abamu bayinza okubanga ka button tebakalaba abakusimu zaabwe obali bw'oba tokalaba feel free to unmute right now. Tuli mu open pledges. Owanika omukono tuwulira erinnya lyo ne pledge oba otypinga mu chat kye tuliko kati oba chapter esinga tuziyiseemu.
Dr.
clarification.
Marvin tusooke tuleko omwami oyo ani abadde ayogera wa Bahrain?
Yes sebo.
Genda maaso.
Mbali njagala kukola clarification nti omukyala yaweereza ssente okuyita ku benefit naziweereza naye nga abadde yajoyininze ku TikTok. Omukyala yaze natugamba ya ssente zituuse Miss Jane atwadde emitwalo 2 egye Uganda kitegeeza giva mu B3 emitwalo 2 n'ekitundu eze Uganda. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the update. Marvin genda maaso.
Njagadde
Banage zivuddewa, sorry, zivuddewa. Can you see the chapters in the end?
Bahrain.
Bahrain. Mitwalo, ogamemeka?
2 kitundu.
2 kitundu. Then twabadde tufunyeyo 30K previously. Okay, thank you.
No. 30K that is now kubeera confirmed. That is never kutuulako kati zituddeko ze mbadde ngeza kuclarifyinga mu Uganda.
Kakati 30K zeze zituuse kati, right?
No, 30K is 3 BD. When you transact, it was two sums in Uganda, that's about 12 n'ekitundu. Yes, you take a village tone of what
Yeah, naye kakati the 30K which was
Auntie, I think it's the same person, Polly. Polly, that's the same person.
It's the same person. Oh, yeah. Okay, thank you. Okay. Yes. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okuva mu America, Mwami Richard Katongole otuweerezaayo $10. Thank you so much. Yes, ndabyeko egundi enamba failings okuva wa Mwami Emmanuel Kaseke naye Mwami Amazing ngenda kusaba otekeyo eri collection point eyokubiri because twina cash up biri is a chapter, so tusobola okuteekayo eyo webangemu sente ziriko zeetaaga okugibwako. Yeah, so far Dr. Mfunyeyo wano $10 okuva wa Mwami Katongole. Thank you so much.
$10
ne mukyala Nabatanzi Aaron obaze zino zabadde ayogedde oli okuva mu Chicago chapter yakatuwaayo $150.
Yeah.
Mr. Daniel.
Should I add those chapters together? US mulina Boston, then mulina ne Ogambe Chicago.
I think genda kuvayo n'omugatte gwawamu at the end of it.
Okay. Just I'm noting 150 there.
I think Mwami Luzi abadde alina kyagamba. Mwami Luzi genda maaso seba.
Yes, issue yange eriti nabadde ntaddemu eno email gye mutuwadde wansi eyo eya donations.
Yes, sir.
Naye ensaba company name. Petekamu email ensaba company name.
Nedda gikola ebeere personal. Waneno wekubuziza first name ne last name. First name tekako NUP. Waneno ku last name tekako US chapter.
Okay, kati bwe bimaze okuntawanya ne empeereza $2 ewa bali kalaba ku email yaffe gundi eri yaffe account yaffe eri endala yali ya convention.
$2. Thank you so much. I'll take note of that. Tweyanzase.
Ngezezaako mu chat wano nga Lopa ayogera ngambadde n'ekibuuzo kye mbadde njagala atubuulireko ekikwatagana ku bana abeegabira nomination ba Mongo Nabbanja ne gundi oba waliwo ekintu ekiyinza okukolebwa okulivisinga okulonda okwo oba tulopyeyo oba kye tugenda okukola nze kye kintu kinumye nnyo.
Yeah, kubeerako ne leader of opposition alike avuddeko kati kubeerako ne Secretary General. He'll be with us very soon, so ekibuuzo ekyo asobola okukiddamu. Thank you so much. Yeah, Dr. Ankuddiza akazindaalo, so $2 okuva wa Mwami Luzi. Thank you so much.
Thank you all for all your support, and we really appreciate all the contributions. Chapters, your generosity. We mutodde mukama abaddizeewo era eri ettaffaali lye mutadde ku struggle lya kutambuza bubaka bwa president bubaka bwa NUP okulaba nti butuuka buli koona ya Uganda. The purpose we are here is to make sure we support our party in the upcoming campaign. We're here to liberate our country. So all those contributions make a difference towards the struggle. As we mentioned earlier, the government is trying to cut off all funds that the party was receiving. So the diaspora has really played a big role in making sure that the campaigns can continue. And we're here to make sure that we continue that effort. Through your fundraising efforts, we are able to support our team on the ground. Bannange abatali muted kansubire oyagala kukola donation bw'oba toli muted nga tukuwulira tusubire Mwami Sonis oyagala kwogera oba oli just unmuted. So yandabawo emikono. Madam Harriet, you're unmuted. Waliwo omwami awanise Nupkata update.
Yes, ninako updates okuva mu Nupkata chapter.
Yes.
Nsereko Freeman atusindikidde emitwalo 10 nga mu mannya ga mutabani we era nga yagala certificate amanya mu Jonathan Sebuliba nenfuna endala emitwalo 10 okuva ewa Nsereko David era naye ayagala mu mutabani we mu Nsereko Samuel.
Thank you so much. Tusiimye nnyo bannange. Thank you for the update from the Kata chapter. I see a Dr. Semanda. Dr. Semanda, feel free to submit. Dr. Semanda, tetukuwulira oli unmuted naye tetukuwulira. Nze sikuwulira ate lisimanyi wabala bakuwulira. Dr. Semanda. Dr. Semanda tetukuwulidde. I think try to log in again. Oli unmuted naye sikuwulira. Sina kyempulira. Mr. Marvin waliwo omukono gwendaba naye simanyi oba guli ndaba virus RO, I don't know. Marvin ogulaba ogwo simanyi.
Asobola okwogera mwami virus genda maaso sebo.
Oh yes, thank you very much. My name is Roger. I am the NUP Western Canada chapter.
Otutisiza nnyo sebo.
Erinnya lyo likyuse sebo oteekako virus.
Mukama wange nedde erinnya sobola ddikyusa munansonyiwa nina ensonga zange.
Tuba tulowooza ogenda twonoonera gundi link. So genda mu maaso.
Kale kati amanya n'eddoboozi nze Roger Kasamba nze NUP Western Canada chapter. Mwami Maviri ndooza nakugendako inbox sometime back. Naye nga Western Canada chapter we were pledging a million 10 President bwe yajja Toronto. We were there and we pledged 100 million. So far we to progress nze abantu bali mu kusonda sente era bwe tuzisonda tuziweereza ku main office eri Toronto. Naye okusinziira ku mulamu gwa leero personally ngenda kufunayo like $150 Canadian nziweerezeeko ku guno omulamwa gwa Gulf chapter at least tuongereze ku contribution again and so far nagenze okubuulirizaako ku sente twaka collecting right now for the last week twakafunayo $700 mu contribution era tugenda zisindika Toronto. Thank you.
Toyanziza nnyo ab'e Canada mbadde musirise leero luli last week mwajja n'amaanyi naye weebale kubanunula. Madam Brenda bakwali leero ne mukyala Kajumba leero mbadde musirise naye ab'e Canada tusanyusa obbawuliza. Eyo pledge y'amaanyi million 10 katusuubire zonna zinaavaayo ejja kutuyamba okutambuza emirimu gy'ekibiina ku ground. So thank you so much Canada.
So Dr. Anthony okutala ekirimi million 10 yes era President Boyaja twali tuweddeyo million 35 by that time President Boyaja de Toronto, so ku million 10 twakawayo million 35.
Thank you so much, comrades. We appreciate all your efforts.
Yes, Doctor.
Comrades.
Njagadde okutegeeza Secretary General, he has managed to join us. So nja kulekera Doctor, you take over. But his own have admitted him in. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much. And we welcome our Secretary General to our fundraising meeting. So the Gulf chapters, mbasaba mukole addition. Contributions zonna ze mufunye so far, aba UAE, aba Qatar, aba Bahrain. Tusaba mukolo mugatte, tujja bayita omukwamu mutuwe update toto ze muinawo so far. N'aba US mbasaba namwe mukolo mugatte, aba UK simanyi aliwo agenda otubalira contributions ezigenze ku account, kuba ezamwe ziyita ku account. So mbasaba bannange, all the chapters that are on here, tabulate what you have so far, so that when you call you can give us an update of where we stand at the moment, and then Madame Polly can help us tabulate the results of our fundraisers so far. So I appreciate all your efforts, comrades. That's why we are here, to make sure that we continue to fill the gaps that that our party is experiencing on the ground. We all see the excitement when the president is traveling across Uganda, the large crowds. People are out there ready to support change, to support a new Uganda. But any campaign needs resources. It doesn't stop at people coming to campaign rallies. You have to do mobilization, you have to do flyers, you have to send out messages on radio and other media outlets to educate people about when to vote, where to vote. So omulimu gukyali munene nnyo ogulina okukolebwa ekibiina okulaba nti campaign etambula ku ground. So support yonna gye muwa, ettaffaali lyonna limuteekayo liyamba okutambuza emirimu gy'ekibiina. Tubeebaza obuwagizi bwe mulaze sofa. Obuwagizi bungi bwe mulaze, and many chapters have already contributed. We appreciate all those contributions that have gone to the Secretariat already. We mutodde era tugenda kukomawo mwongereko, kuba omulimu tegunaggwa, tukyabeetaaga okulaba nti mwongerako tumalirize kye tulwanirira. So I think...
Doctor.
Yes, comrade.
Just an update, nina nfunye emitwalo 10 okuva ewa Prince BMK, then n'emitwalo emirala 25 okuva ewa Madam Nanyonjo Mire, wano mu UAE chapter.
All right, thank you, comrades. Bana inabali ku TikTok tetubeera bidde, aba TikTok era mwongera okuleeta contributions. Please feel free osobola okutypinga mu messaging ya TikTok so that tukutuukirira tumanye waawo okuweereza contribution yo. So we haven't forgotten you. N'abali ku Facebook, please feel free to type your name and your chapter. We can reach out to you to make sure that we can collect that contribution towards the protest vote. So with that said, and even as the Secretary General addresses us, I really request that let's keep those contributions going. You can just go in the chat and type your contribution, and we'll read it out at the nearest opportunity. So SG, yes.
Dr. Kauma.
Yes, Polly.
Dr. Kauma, before SG comes in, but then Njagala Mugisha to brief me about this lady from Vietnam. I think she made a pledge, or I think she sent some transaction, but I couldn't get the figures.
Comrade Harriet did send the money to the link. She used the credit card, debit card link that we provided. So njakuba nkutegeeza mchala Polly. I'm trying to log into the system now. It's just that I'm using the same computer.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much. Then the previous speaker, Abadendoza from UAE, mfunyewo just mitwalo 10, there were 2 ladies. Omlala are contributing the 200. Was it 250 or 200?
250, Madam Nanyonjo Mire from UAE. Then,
okay.
Then era kati mfunyeyo omulala mukulu Kabenge contributing ze mitwalo 10 era wano mu UAE.
Mitwalo 10 n'omulala oli yabadde akabe.
Oli Prince BMK naye ya contribute emitwalo 10. Yes please.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Then
no kwa acknowledginga receipt y'abantu bali abali ku TikTok ya mitwalo 6 okuva eri Comrade Mariam abali ku TikTok.
Mitwalo 6?
Yeah, total.
Okay. In cash. These are not pledges, huh?
Yeah, these are cashes.
Okay, cashes. Thank you.
Finance UAE, Mr. Ibla, note down these comrades, two comrades, baprojinzeyo omba mwitaka kahunde Julie, pledging mitwalo 10, and they should reach out to me because I know them. They'll fulfill their pledge. And another one is called Livia. Naye pledges mitwalo 10 mu UAE chapter. So note them so that you can track them. They will be. I've given them your number. Maybe anytime now they will be doing the needful. Thank you so much.
Ano dinze nga tonjogedde ssebo nange ndi mu UAE chapter. Nange na pledges. Ndi mu UAE nange na pledges.
You didn't come through me. Yes, I'm a coordinator of UAE, but I didn't notice that because I thought you went through Mr. Finance because we are already on personal level. These are the people. Actually, I've tried to mobilize them. Like, come join. They said they cannot join right now, but they are in touch with us. So, and they pledged that maybe tomorrow after tomorrow they will be sending in. So maybe, but since you have come out. Thank you so much, brother, for that contribution, for that support.
Okay, it's okay. Kati okuchangu ya intenda kuita mu mobilizer Sulaiman Mayanja. Sulaiman Mayanja omanyi? Mayanja Sulaiman.
Yeah, I know. He's our representative. I mean, he's our mobilizer. People mobilizer. I know him. Mobilizer.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's our mobilizer. Rehema Sulaiman.
Nze Nafumba Benjamin.
Mr. Nafumba Benjamin sebo watu pledges emitwalo 3.
Yes seba chembadde.
Enongamba day after tomorrow sebo. Era nakunotinze oli down sebo mukulu Benjamin Nafumba.
Kale onoonya bambi the day after tomorrow simanyi watugenda kikola tutya fulfilling it.
Ngenda kunoonya tasobola kumbula. Ati site wazipekisi.
Yeah, mwami Katanga tunaba kujikwa banange njagala okubategeeza buli pledging sente mu making sure nti mu fulfilling Kampala yetaaga sente. Ngawe tumanyi next week batandika phase impya, and after next week they are starting another phase. So sente zino eziri mu bantu obanga pledging ze. I know at times tubeera so excited nenja ngamba tingenda kuwaayo, and then after some time because ebintu bibaawo nestaziwaayo naye tubeegayiridde buli pledginga agezeeko nnyo okulaba nti fulfillinga tuyambe Kampala okuleeta obuyambi obwo ate era president waffe yeyongere okusagula. So ffe kye tulina okukola kumunoonyeza ka ssente nga ye waasagula e Kampala. Results muzirabyeko, so we need each other on board. Yes, genda maaso sebo. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Marvin. There are so many lines which are unmuted. Madam Samali, Mr. Faizo, Dr. Sema. The lines are naziri unmuted. Simanyi oba mwagala kwogera oba muli just unmuted. Naye nga mbasaba mu muting line ezo bwe muba temwogera. Mbeegayiridde bannange. Ani abadde submitting? Gena maaso.
Okay, from National Platform Kata chapter, aninako updates z'abantu basatu. Okuva ewa wako Anthony atuwadde emitwalo 10 zirisivingibwa ku treasury account yaffe. Nefunayo Muwanguzi Churchman atuwadde emitwalo 1.5. Nefunako Kiria Sadi era nga naye yo welfare era yakwasigana naye agambye nange kanyongereko. Atuwadde emitwalo 10 sofaje emitwalo kati 10 ne 21. session. Tujja bawa total updates as we move forward.
Bana etweyanziza nnyo bannagaafu omulimu muzze n'amaanyi era nabagambye nti mulina okujja n'amaanyi abagaafu so muzze n'amaanyi mwebale bannaye obuwagizi bwonna era waliwo point gyesaagala kulekayo NUP bwe yali ewandiika manifesto waliyo agenda ezateekebwa mu manifesto yaffe nga ziri focus more on migrant workers era bacomrade nga Docas n'abalala bonna abadde bakola ku bintu ebyo for a long time propose ezo zonna zaayitamu era NUP mwalaba yaziteeka mu manifesto naddala nga tulwanirira baganda baffe abali mu Gulf embeera gye mulimu emirimu gye mukola n'embeera gye mubeeramu ekibiina kyaffe point ezo baaziwuliriza era bw'oyita mu manifesto point ekwata ku diaspora ensonga ezo ezaava mu Gulf baaziteeka mu manifesto eyo so twebaza ekibiina kyaffe okulaba nti tebeerabira mukozi ajja mu diaspora n'embeera gye bayitamu ebizibu bye tuyitamu mu Gulf baganda baffe bonna gye bali gye bakolera tumanyi obuzibu bwe muyitamu naye n'ebyo byonna ebizibu bye muyina mutodde ne muwaayo ku struggle ogw'omutima mulungi tusiima nnyo tusiimidde ddala obwagazi obwo bwe mulaze ekibiina era bwe mulaze struggle mwebale nnyo mwebalire ddala bannaye n'olwekyo bannaye ngenda kuyita secretary general okujjako nga waliwo abadde agenda otuwa donation kati ngenda kuyita secretary general atubuuzeeko atuwe update campaign etambula etya ku ground bizibu ki bye bayitamu how is the campaign progressing what more we can do in the diaspora and of course any other questions members have waliwo eyabuuziza ku kibuuzo ky'abaanita among going through when they are uncontested by blocking some of our candidates so Secretary General can maybe give an update on where they are on that. Someone asked the question which I think the LOP answered about the biometric machines which the Electoral Commission has introduced to use in this election. Many people are concerned that are these machines going to work? Are the machines going to be used to rig the election? Are they going to be used to deny voters access to the ballot? So those are things which also maybe the Secretary General can highlight, as well as other issues, how the campaign is going, how our candidates are operating. I know NUP nominated many candidates. We've been seeing reports that some of the candidates were not nominated. We can get an update of what the party is doing regarding those efforts. But most importantly, omulamwa gwe tuliko kwe kulaba nti tunoonya ssente okuwagira emirimu egigenda maaso ku ground, and I think the Secretary General will highlight those issues as well. So SG, the microphone is over to you. I know you are busy. Just to give members an update, today we are being hosted by the Gulf chapter. Banna Gulf beba hosting zerero. Secretary General era bebadde batambuza meeting eno. Simanyo bawaliwo abadde ayogera.
Yes, Doctor, before the SG comes in, mbadde nsaba ku Mr. Marvin, mbadde musikidde ku message. Njagala kumanya ku namba gya kusindika ku kumbani gya kuwayo $100 now. Because simanyi namba ya kusindikako in Uganda.
Waliwo namba eri ku flyer.
It's in the chat room. It's also in the chat room. Please check the chat room. Eri mumanyaga Elvis Valikalaba, Treasurer USA chapter, mobile money. Thank you.
Can I please add that to 1 minute? The number on the last of this advertised from the 1st of November, there's nothing like if it's an MTN or it's a something like that. We need to know the right.
It's Airtel.
Yes, and that's not on this. How do you call it? This. Yeah. So we need to
0759 yeah, Airtel. So. Eri mu chat room sebo webale nnyo sebo.
Hey, thank you very much, comrades. Can you hear me?
Yes, tukulira bulungi Secretary General. Nsaba abalala bannaye mu muting your lines abatayogera. Mwami Faizo, Mwami Semakula, Mwami Chimuli, Madam Samali.
Kamba muting. Secretary General can unmute himself. Muting bonna.
Yeah, I hope you guys can hear me. Everybody can hear me.
I'm very, very glad to be here this evening with you. And I know it's morning for some of you, night for some of you, but I want to really appreciate you, comrades, for sustaining this and continuously doing it. And I want to confirm that, for all these past weeks, all the work that you've seen happen has largely been supported by you guys in the diaspora. Many times wake up to messages from our accountant here saying, he's completely out of money. And then I call some of you, especially I love to disturb Elvis, sometimes call the different chapters basically to see how they can, be of support. And many times whatever is available is sent to us. So that your contributions have kept the campaign running. And for that, we're very, very grateful. You all know what has been happening in Uganda. Of course, you guys know that we would have nominated very, very many candidates. We had a total of 425, but we are not even able to nominate so many of those people. We have slightly over 200 people that were able to nominate, and that was largely because of money, because many of those guys in the countryside really cannot afford the 3 million shillings that was being required. Even then, we supported over 150 of those people we're talking about with either half of the money or full the amount of money required. Sadly, there are people that we paid for, over 20, who were not able to nominate for different reasons, including those who the state just decided to block, those who the state used some, excuses here and there to deny them nomination, saying, either their names did not match or whatever. So yeah, we had those challenges. But I want to appreciate, although we had to find extra support because it was a very, very expensive operation and in a very, very short time. At least I believe that we also had a few people in the diaspora support that effort. The diaspora chapters. So we are very, very grateful for that. Now we are continuing to campaign, and I wanted to confirm, like I said, that support has been really, really instrumental in keeping us moving in different ways. And of course, some of you part of the have been contributing towards through these very organized chapters, and others, some other comrades, I think, have been sending in money directly, either to Kampala or to the chapters themselves, etc., etc. So we are very, very grateful for that. And I want to encourage us to continue doing that. Even here in Uganda, we want to revamp this fundraiser. We've been trying to figure out how to go about that, but we've been discussing it different ways. Unfortunately, the president, for example, is just on the trail. Even now, they're on their way to Kampala. They'll only rest tomorrow, Sunday, because on Monday they are going to be in Butambala and Gomba, which means really that, we thought that we would maybe have some time to organize a function at the Secretariat and do another kind of fundraising, but it's been very, very difficult. So we are trying to think about maybe an online option like the one we're having now, but that's organized on Facebook and all these other channels, or having a physical function at some point. So all these are things we're discussing with Honorable Alimwezo and the rest of the team to see how we can also tap into the local, support in terms of being able to raise funds. The situation, as you all know, is better than it was last time, and we also know that it is because of the effort that you comrades put in the diaspora. Banange bino ebintu nga bwe tubadde tugamba nti tulowooza nti Museveni asazeewo n'agamba kale kaneme okubakubanya emigo katuleme okukozesa tear gas nnyo nga bwe kyali ku mulundi guli. But largely it's because after that last election, you remember that the international community placed sanctions on many of those police officers, military people, and all that. So and you know that for them, sanctions like travel restrictions and all that mean a lot. If they cannot take their kids to schools abroad using the money they have stolen, if they cannot, access their offshore accounts and all that, for them it's a big inconvenience. So we believe that's why they have behaved a little bit. We don't know how far that can go, because you can see every other day they're trying to become violent. You saw the raid on the president's, where the president was saying, and the rest of the team this week. So yeah, let's continue monitoring, continue praying for us, for the team and all that. In fact, one of the major reasons why some of the leaders, including myself, have not been moving out so much these days on the trail is because we've been really trying to fundraise, try to sort this puzzle called fundraising, because the team relies on funds for everything. We are running a very, very basic campaign, just dealing with the basics. But even then, every day we spend between 10 and 15 million shillings because, again, you guys can see the lines of expenditure. You have to have fuel for the cars, you have to have accommodation, you have to have a sound system, you have to make sure that the people are able to have food, you have to book venues for these rallies, sometimes you have to book radio programs. Yeah, so many things, ambulances, and of course the teams that go with the president and all that, the local teams facilitating them, mobilization work, etc, etc. Of course, you guys can see that where we use between 10 and 15 millions, the NRM probably uses 500 million, a billion, etc, etc. And I gave you an example from the last election where reports indicated that they spent 900 billion and NUP spent only 3 billion. But we've been very, very clear every time that if we only can get 1% of what they get, we can give them a run for their money. That is why you can see, for example, I'm sure many of you have been following this iPod issue. Mumanyi bulungi nnyo nti bano abantu baavaayo ne basima ssente ze twalibadde tufuna kubanga baali bamanyi nti singa tufuna ssente ezo mu kalulu kajja basumbuwa nnyo. Of course tekibawonya naye era maybe the time we spend trying to raise funds, running up and down, maybe we would be using that time to concentrate on more campaign work and all that. So their strategy, I mean, even when NUP just gets 12% of that money and they get 75% and share the rest with these other political parties which are affiliated to them, they had to make sure that they block any funds coming to NUP. So anyway, bottom line, we appreciate you comrades for supporting the cause. We pray that you continue supporting the cause in different ways. Recently, we had a meeting with Dr. Kauma and the rest of the leadership team and said that, let's focus on this fundraiser using all modes and methods that we can use as long as we can encourage our people to fundraise. So thank you very much for listening to me. I thought I should just give you a word of encouragement. You guys can see what is happening in Tanzania. You've been seeing what has been happening in Cameroon and all these other places. And I believe it's because there's an interest in change in all these countries. People are waking up to say enough is enough. So we believe that, regardless of what the regime will try to do, the people of Uganda can and should be able to raise their voices and say, no, enough is enough to all this impunity, enough is enough to all this, vote rigging and all that. So you've been talking about the biometric machines and all that. Yes, we do not agree with what they're trying to do because, first of all, there is no law that makes the biometric machines mandatory as of now. You all remember that Norbert Mao at some point was saying that the law was going to come to Parliament to make it mandatory to use biometric machines. But the law has not come up to today, and yet they went ahead and procured these biometric machines. But also the way the procurement of those machines has been made has been very, very opaque. It's not been transparent. All these electoral processes, we believe that agents of candidates or agents of political parties that are participating in elections must have an opportunity to, access whatever is going on, be able to see the technology that these guys are trying to use, and be able to interrogate and ask questions and all that. All that has not happened. It never does. Nobody knows what kind of technology is going to be used. You have already seen where the biometric machines go to these polling stations. They run out of power most of the times. And, we suspect that the regime may want to make it mandatory in areas where they know they cannot rig, but in those areas where they know they can do a lot of ballot stuffing, they will claim that, these machines are not working and then continue to ballot stuff and all that. Because Museveni cannot win elections without rigging. He cannot. You all know what he did in the last election, switching off the internet, the radio stations, abducting so many people, ensuring that the entire campaign team of NUP is in detention. Some people are still there, of course, and all the things they did, switching off the internet, and then all of a sudden they start announcing figures that have no, basis whatsoever, that have no backing whatsoever. Because at some point, our agents asked these guys at the Tally Center where the results they were reading were coming from, and they couldn't. Nobody could explain where these results were coming from, but they kept saying, these are the results that are coming in, so that ultimately they would give Museveni whatever they wanted. So we believe, and the president is giving this message, telling people, mukanonye, mukakume, no, mukanonye, mukalonde, mukakume, mukabanje. But before kabanja, tulina chetuito kagoberera obo kalondola to make sure that our vote counts. So this is an effort that the diaspora can also participate in by protesting. I want to appreciate comrades like Docas who have persistently been doing a lot of civic education to our people. So yes, let's continue playing whatever role. In addition to supporting the campaign financially, we can also support it in every other way. Thank you very much. May God bless you.
Thank you so much, SG, for all those words and information. I have one question, SG, which came through. Do you have any updates on the situation that played out in northern Uganda when they raided the president's hotel? I know they arrested some of the comrades and they were making accusations about equipment that the police was carrying. Any update on that situation? Somebody was raising that question.
Well, our people are in detention. 10 people were detained, and they are, in a prison in Lira. We're in touch with them. On Monday, they will be going back, so we're going to get them some food and other items. But we've also given them some legal assistance. Of course, again, all these are the challenges we keep having. For example, the local lawyer wanted 4.5 million shillings, which we considered high, and now we have to send another lawyer from Kampala to go and try to get a production warrant, follow up, and all that. So yeah, all these are part of the challenges. You guys know, whenever people are arrested and they have to get out on bail, we have to part with some money, whether it's bail fees and all the other fees that keep coming up. Yeah, so these guys are there. Of course, they were claiming that they were looking for our comrade Tower and another who they did not mention in their statement. I can say that those comrades are still safe. I don't know up to when, but we pray that they remain safe. But the other ones are in detention, and we have to find a way of getting them out of that place. What I can say also is that, of course, the police statements were ridiculous, like they always are. We asked these comrades, they made it clear that they did not have those clothes and other things the police was talking about. But you know them. Every time they want to either become violent towards us or behave in a certain way or even cancel our campaigns, they must come up with a justification. That is how they normally start. So we are monitoring the situation, trying to understand what the true intentions are.
Okay, thank you so much for that update. We appreciate all the work that you are all doing on the ground. So comrades, we said if anyone has any questions, you can type it in the chat. The SG won't be here for long. But let's continue sending in the contributions. If you are on the meeting, we have about over 100 people, and there are other people on TikTok as well. I really request that you leave with making at least a small contribution before we close today's meeting. We appreciate all. I see Dr. Semanda just donated $200. We are very, very grateful for that. Thank you very much in the chat. Let's keep it going and encourage all of you to keep making those pledges. Yes?
I have an update here, comrade, I think Mama Aisha had her hand up. Comrade Ruth Buta, you had put in $202 in the Cash App. But the Cash App, so we have two Cash Apps. I'm going to request that you use the second one. I'm going to send a request to you. That $202 should be able to come through. So, Mama Aisha, I think you had a question for SG. And also SG, somebody texted me here. unable to join the Zoom, but they were wondering the update of the different MPs that we managed. Do you want to give a highlight on our MPs, how that progressed a little bit? Thank you.
Yes, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. This is Mama Aisha, chapter leader, California. I just had a question for the SG. I don't know if it's still on. We know what that we have the votes all over the country, and we are winning. But my question this time round. We done the civic education to our people for our agency whom we're gonna send it to be monitoring our votes and our observers, because we already have our own party observers, because those and we done it that we do it locally, because last time people were complaining that they were sent in the areas where they don't even understand the language, they don't know the areas. Even if the police is chasing them, they cannot even know where to run around in the place. So can we do this time around, try to sensitize the local people, so that they are our agency? At least if we have to send people from Kampala, those will be just observers and supervisors, just to monitor. But the agents who are going to sit on the ballot boxes, let them be local people. In case they arrest one, they put another one there. They arrest one, they put another one there. So that's my concern. Our California chapter this morning, we sent $50,000 to Kampala. And we are still mobilizing our people to contribute and donate as much as we can. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Madam Aisha, for that great effort. That's a really appreciated contribution from your chapter. And also, definitely, your question is important. And I think that's the issue of observers and poll watchers and the training that needs to be done. And these are some of the resources that we are collecting. These resources will help the party to make sure they are able to hire enough people across the country to protect the vote, to monitor the vote, and of course even the training as well that's needed. But I want to, I don't know if there are any more questions before we bring back the Secretary General.
Yes,
Did anyone else have a question? But keep them brief, because we want to go back to fundraising, so we don't want to do a lot of speaking. We are looking for money. So let's keep them very brief and go back to what brought us here. Go ahead.
Yes, Doctor, I'll be very brief. Dear Secretary General, thank you so much for this opportunity. My only question is, what's your comment on the unfoldings of the Kasese? Because what we're hearing in Kasese is something that is not good, which we believe that it could antagonize the campaigns.
All right, thank you, comrade. I see some more hands. I don't know if these are for donations or questions. Yes. Yes, Mwami Rosie, very briefly, Vanange, just a few seconds.
The question of Anita Mongo Nabanja and the value Muso Kuita Mano Posti, are we waving the flag? Should we know if anything effort is being taken for that?
Okay, thank you for that question. I think the SG is still on. Marvin, is the SG still on? And I see a few more hands.
I can quickly respond to those questions.
I see Alberta, Sam. Are those questions or your hands have just been up? I see Alberta and I see Sam. Okay, I guess
one, Mr. Kaum.
Sam is a question. Sam is a question to us.
Briefly, please, very briefly, because of time.
Okay, thank
Mr.
you.
Arnold, let's first go with Sam. Sam was first. Okay, Sam, then. Go ahead.
Okay. My question to SG. We've seen military takeover in Guinea and Burkina Faso, and then we've seen political riots or unrests in the East African region. We have the Tanzanians doing it, and we're seeing it in Cameroon. my lessons is what have we learned from the political riots in Kenya, I mean in Tanzania and Cameroon, and how can we instigate this kind of spirit in the Ugandans to take the same move towards our struggle. And if it goes the other way and we get the military taking over, how are we prepared for that?
All right, comrades. I think Arnold, briefly.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kauma. A quick one. There are like two questions. One, to SG, this is Arnold Subi, a coordinator. Last election, it was witnessed the dictator or the regime did stop the international election observers to come to Uganda to do their work as it's mandated. So right now, what are our efforts? What are the mechanisms? Is it going to be the same way? Because we need the international community in one way or the other to witness what's taking place, especially considering what transpired last time. So this time around, are we still like, how is it going to be done? Is there any efforts? Another question. Another question is. We are facing from the people we lead, that is there any opportunity people in diaspora to vote? We had previously that there were a law in parliament trying like to consider these people like prisoners, and the people in diaspora, they can get opportunity to vote to decide their leader. So how far is that? Is there any hope, or it's just a mess? Thank
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Arnold. Definitely, diaspora is not voting. You have to go back to Uganda. They didn't approve they didn't make any arrangements for diaspora voting. But I'll let the Secretary General handle the rest of the other questions. And then the rest of folks, please just forward your questions. We'll try to address them with the team in Uganda, but for time constraints, I think tugenda komawo n'ebibuuzo. SG, you can go ahead and unmute, and then we can proceed with the rest of the meeting.
Okay, thank you very much, Sebo, and thank you all comrades for asking those questions. I think the first thing I want to do is to appreciate the California chapter. Thank you very, very much for constantly also fundraising and sending in whatever contributions you get. Munatsonyo Abanange, when we call you sometimes when things are really tough, and we tell you to send whatever you have at that time, because like I said, the expenses are huge, and sometimes we have emergencies to deal with when people get accidents or injuries or whatever. Now, regarding the questions, someone asked about Cameroon, Guinea, etc. How do we get this? First of all of you comrades have seen that in countries which I think somebody needs to mute. In countries which are heavily militarized, you have seen that the propensity of the military taking over is always high. You guys can see what is happening in Sudan. We saw what happened in what has happened in many of these countries where military has taken over either through coup d'etats and that kind of thing. The latest example is Cameroon. It's unfortunate that some of these countries end up in these kinds of situations. No, in Cameroon, there are protests there, but the Paul Biya announced himself and continued to lead. But you guys remember that very recently there were protests which brought again the military taking over, and of course that's not the best outcome that the people who go on these streets always want to get, because you see, and I'm talking about Madagascar. This guy, the colonel who came in and said, he declared himself president, he was sworn in and all that. But that happens a lot in countries which are heavily militarized. I think the same situation happened in Egypt and other places really where you've seen these kinds of things take place. It's not what we desire. We desire civilian rule. We want to have a successful revolution, such that when there's a successful revolution in Uganda, we move out from military rule to civilian rule. That's what we would want to have. But unfortunately, sometimes when the Gen Zs and other, pro-democracy forces succeed in these revolutions, you see the military come in, take over, and like I gave an example of Sudan where it is and the challenges that have been there, you can clearly see that the military came in and hijacked the people's revolution. So we must work very hard as the people of Uganda and pray hard to ensure that that situation does not emerge in this country, because when that happens, you cannot claim that you have actually succeeded. Instead, what you have is these military people taking over, saying, there will be a transitional period after which we'll have elections, only to use that time for these military people to, strengthen themselves, consolidate power, and then extend that period further, and like that. And that's what Museveni did. After, taking power in 1986, they came up and said they were going to be around for a very short time, organize elections. Then after the 4 years, they said, now we need to have a new constitution. After the 5 years, Museveni came out and said, I now need to test the constitution, after claiming that. So it has been a new story, etc. So our struggle, to answer your question, is about establishing civilian rule in our country, which is more predictable than military rule. Now, Among and others were unopposed. Incidentally, Among and Taibwa were unopposed. Nabanja has other candidates, independents and all that, were running against her. But you all know that we are the candidate against Sanita Among, we are the candidate against Taibwa, and we've been very categorical about how those people ended up being unopposed, because they abused power really to, become unopposed. In the case of Ukedeya, Anita Among had to, use all these institutions. Eventually, the candidates we had, all of them were removed from the national register, and therefore they could not be candidates. Even the replacement candidate who we got, was intimidated, and all these things that happened to her. Up to now, we are not in touch with her because her known phones are off. We last saw a video of her saying what she was saying. We don't know who she was with and all that. But when we talked to her before all that, she was very, very traumatized, and you could hear that maybe something had gone fundamentally wrong in her life. International observers, we are hoping that international observers will be allowed to observe the election. So far, we've been in touch with some of them who are still waiting for their accreditation. We are monitoring this, and on Monday, we'll have a meeting with the Electoral Commission. It's one of the things we are going to raise. A diaspora vote, I think Dr. Kauma has answered that. Certainly, the regime knew that this isn't in their favor. There is a court decision saying that the diaspora and people in prison should be allowed to vote, but the regime simply refused to implement that court decision, the same way they refused to implement many Supreme Court recommendations on how to improve elections. Finally, Chala Nachijoba, you asked a very interesting question. I don't know if I should answer it here, but you will get time and talk about it. But what I want to say is that ultimately you need to deploy people from different regions to go out there and try to support with voice protection and all that, because the local people have many challenges. First of all, they are easily intimidated, sometimes through their parents, sometimes because they know them, sometimes they are very easy to compromise. So there are very, very many challenges around that. And I will say that even in the last election, we relied on the local people to be our polling agents. The people who came from the secretariat, for example, only went in as supervisors. But we got so many challenges with the local people, again, because of the structure of the Ugandan state. You know that the GISOs, the Gombolola internal security officers, the DSOs, the RDCs and all that, always go for these people. A party like NUP cannot afford to give this for a lot of money. In the last election, we were very lucky. We had some money, so we sent 40,000 shillings at every polling station. Now, that time we had 34,000 polling stations. Now we have 38,000, over 38,000. But you can see how much money that was. A lot of money. But even then, what the NRM would do, they would come to this polling station, see this guy, and say, we are giving you 200,000 for you to surrender this DR form. Because of the poverty levels and all this, some of those people ended up submitting in those DR forms to wrong people. Even when they tried to do that, NUP is a party that was able to collect the biggest number of DR forms. You know, because we had deployed these local people. Of course, you remember that many supervisors, including those who came from the diaspora, were abducted, harassed, and many things done to them. But at least we were able to collect many DR forms, which again caused these guys of crime intelligence to swing into action and start looking for people who had those DR forms, abducting them. And I mean, there are some DR forms which up to now we've never received because they are still in the hands of the partisan security forces. So I believe those are the questions that came through to me. What I can say, there is hope if each one of us can do their part. And as we know God is on our side, we shall be able to overcome and build a new Uganda.
Thank you very much, SG, and thank you for taking time to be here with us.
Dr. Kalma,
on
there's a
this
question
meeting.
in the chat, please. There's a question in the chat, should be answered by SG.
It was a tutabinji, but what question is that? Struggle is not all about our president. We have leaders as secretary who can spearhead that. We have the fundraising committee headed by Engineer Balimwezo. What is the role of that committee? So the SG looks like this question in the chat is about the fundraising committee which was put together at the secretariat. I think folks are asking what is the committee doing, I guess, in terms of fundraising on the ground. That's the question. I'm not sure if I'm understanding that correctly. Madam Janet, was that your question? You're asking about the role of the committee by Engineer Balimwezo? Okay. I think that was the question, SG. I don't know if there's any other one that I didn't raise in the chat.
Dr. Kalma, there was a question. There was a question.
Is there another question besides what I read? Or that's the question?
Yes, I asked a question regarding the Kasese. What is unfolding in Kasese is there is instability. We hear gunshots and everything. So my question was, what is the Secretary General's comment in regards to that? Because we know sooner or later our president is going to go to Kasese. So won't this antagonize the campaigns?
Well, actually, you're right. I mean, I didn't answer that question, but it's still a developing situation. Nobody knows what exactly is happening. Of course, because the citizens in Uganda do not trust the narratives of the state, having, you know, gotten so many other situations of that sort in the past. Today, there was a video making rounds of a man who surrendered, and these guys went ahead and shot him dead. So all these things create many questions in the minds of the citizens. I wouldn't want to, you know, give a firm stand. Nobody at this point knows what exactly is going on. The motive, and whatever, you know, all these things have not been made clear at this point. But we can only, you know, wait to see what happens. In the last election, you remember that Museveni had used the advantage of COVID to clamp down, do all sorts of things. And when we were doing our nationwide tour, you remember at some point they blocked us and stopped us, claiming that there was an ADF scare. So yes, in Uganda, anything is possible. But as of now, I don't want to give a conclusive answer on that because it is still an unfolding situation. So yeah, I mean, I've seen in the questions people asking about, for example, whether there's something we're doing. Of course, I mean, the law says we first make a complaint. Now, what I can tell you guys, maybe, and you're the first people I'm talking to about this, is that some of the people, our candidates who were blocked from nominations, have gone ahead and been either compromised or intimidated. The party has tried to reach out to them, and these guys say, no, we are no longer interested in pursuing these complaints because we've been given this promise, we've not been given this favor, etc. But there are at least 10 complaints, about 10 or slightly more complaints which have been filed with the Electoral Commission, and on Monday those complaints will start being heard and determined. So we don't have a lot of hope because when they blocked over 10 district chairpersons from being nominated, we went to the Electoral Commission, only one out of over 50 complaints that we filed succeeded. So you can see clearly that you do not go there having a lot of hope. But let's hope that maybe we can get something out of that. Our legal teams will be there to argue these cases and see what happens. Now, someone asked about the Balimwezo Committee, the Honorable Balimwezo Committee and what they're doing. I think I already talked about that we're trying to revamp the local fundraising. We are discussing different strategies because you all know that at some point we had a lot of local fundraising, but you also need to know that that time before the nominations started, the president was available, and many of these leaders, now majority of these leaders are in their constituencies, struggling also to raise funds for their own campaigns and all that. So yeah, there are several challenges, which is why I've said we are trying to come up with the best strategies we can use to revamp domestic fundraising. I thank you.
All right, thank you, SG. I think those were all the questions. I don't know if there's anyone else, but we do appreciate all of that. And certainly, as I mentioned last week, fundraising is a joint effort that we all need to do. And I've been encouraging leaders in Uganda as well to share fundraising information when we post things out there. So, because that helps drive up the numbers. Sometimes we cannot get all the members on these Zoom calls. Many people, their attention span is very short. So if we can at least get more leaders as well involved in sharing these messages, making sure that the numbers from the Secretariat where they can send money are made available to members, that can really help. Because there's a lot of goodwill out there. I think we all agree that there's a lot of people who want to support the struggle. So we definitely would like to, maybe even Engineer Balimwezo is welcome to attend our meetings as well, to come and be part of these meetings. We can share ideas and suggestions on how we can do more fundraising to bring in more resources for the party. So that's something. Thank you for that question, Madam Janet. Much appreciated.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dr. Kauma.
Yes, go ahead.
I had a question to SG. We've seen on the news that I think it was the UN who wrote that they've seen the UPDF police, Ugandan police in Tanzania intervening. What does he know about that?
Well, I've not seen that information. I saw, of course, a statement earlier on from some team from Tanzania asking Uganda to withdraw its forces from Tanzania. I mean, these operations are always, done under the carpet. You cannot tell who is who. You remember when there was post-election violence in Kenya?